What's up you guys, this is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, I've got a little bit of a Warframe PSA going on for you. So as many of you already know, Banshee Prime Access is due to retire on May 30th, meaning that it will no longer be available, and those Prime accessories are going to go bye-bye, so I highly suggest picking them up if you are interested in them. However, after that, always comes the Prime trailer. I'm crossing my fingers that y'all got it together this time, DE. I'm rooting for you! You better get it right! For the next Prime, which has been confirmed as Oberon Prime. Confirmed via data mines. But, you know, it's pretty close to the release date, so I'm gonna say it's pretty much it. It's gonna be Oberon Prime, Cerberus Prime, and Sylva and Aegis Prime, both of which I'm very, very interested to see what they do with, because Sylva and Aegis was already gorgeous. I'm like, what are you gonna do to that? And then, of course, the Cerberus Prime, we have the deck Cerberus, so how is that going to be better or different from that? I'm very, very curious to see what that's going on. I don't trust any of the stats quite yet, because you know DE, they like to play the tricks. And of course, that Prime Access is going to release, but when that Prime Access releases, another Prime Access gets vaulted. So that brings us to what's going on with the video today. As you can see right here, we've got Ash Prime, Vectis Prime, and Carrier Prime. Those are the next ones that are due to be vaulted. Now, I did try to get a statement from DE employees, but they were like, Rob, you gotta wait till next week until we tell you. And I'm like, well, people gotta farm this. So if it goes in the exact same order that it's always gone in, that would mean that Ash Prime is next. Otherwise, it's gonna be egg on my face, and y'all can come and roast me on this video and be like, Rob, you were wrong. But, you know, order-wise, it should be Ash Prime and his, all the things that came with things. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick, and then we'll jump into some gameplay. So as you can see, Ash Prime has more armor and shields in his original variant, making him a little bit tankier, and he's got a better look. Please, redact the old visual that you just saw from your brain. It did not happen. It was disgusting. The Vectis Prime actually went ahead and got more damage, and it also got an extra magazine in the clip. Of course, that's not necessarily what we want from the Vectis Prime, because we like to have that single shot and do the manual reloads to make it nice and quick. But we also got the Carrier Prime, which actually got a good survivability bump, which is like double the health, and I'm gonna say, is that like, I don't want to say double the armor, but is that like, oh my god, it's like 3 times the armor? I'm really bad at math, but you know what, that's what it is. And the most important thing is, if you get the Banshee Prime accessories, you get the Ictus stuff from the Helios, and you put it on the Carrier Prime, and it looks like a penguin. Looks like a little penguin. And I am totally into it. You guys know that I am not a big fan of Sentinels at all. This is legitimately the only reason I would use a Sentinel. Look at him. Look at the little penguin face. Of course, he also comes along with ammo case, which is basically the ammo conversion for your weapons. And it gives you extra maximum ammo. And then you got Sweeper Prime, and Sweeper was actually one of my favorites. Sentinel weapons out of all of the Sentinel weapons. So I'm just kind of putting that out there into the universe. Let's go ahead and let's jump into some gameplay. Alright, so we've got a Kuva Flood survival going on, so cross your fingers for me because I've not used Ash in quite a long time. Oh, or maybe we don't. What just happened? Redacted! Everything was redacted. They were like, no, we're not doing this anymore. What do we got? We've got Sabotage. We've got Rescue. Fuck that. Do we still have it? Nope, that's gone too. It all went away. We have a rescue that's a Kuva Flood now. You guys know I'm not gonna do rescues. So let's go ahead and do this Sabotage. Listen, they're taking it all back today. The universe is saying, no, Rob. No, it's not gonna be Ash Prime. I'm letting you know right now. We're gonna go ahead and wait for some players. Please, players, join me. Alright, so one of the big reasons that I wanted to actually touch on basically the Prime Vaults is basically mainly because of the fact that I really like future-proofing my account. And one of the big things that you can do with that is by making sure that you actually go ahead and pick up kind of like some of the vaulted relics. It's really great for things like plat, or you know, just kind of like having a couple extra things in stock. Now, of course, if you don't have a Ash Prime already, it's a good way to at least get his parts and have them banked, just in case, you know, maybe in the future, what you need to do is like go ahead and have his parts ready to build. Maybe you don't have the slots for him. Maybe you're just waiting for, you know, a reason for you to kind of like pick him up to come along. And you know, it's always good to kind of like have the parts ready just in case you ever feel like you need it. Or, hey, you know, always, just in case you want to sell them, and maybe there's a new accessories pack that comes out, a new deluxe skin or something that you really want to pick up, but you can't pick up, you know, without some plat. So that's why I always kind of think of this as future-proofing. It's the same thing that goes into kind of like, it's the same thing that basically goes into things along the lines of like, getting Forma and stacking all of that kind of stuff up. I always think that it's a good idea to, also pick up on all of these relics. All of these, even if it just means going to your, going to your syndicates and burning through some stuff, just to make sure that you have these available to you eventually. You know what I mean? Oh, you guys, this is a Kuva mission. Always Kuva first. Kuva first, you guys, before we set things on fire. So yeah, that's always been one of my big things when it comes to this kind of stuff, is always making sure that you have all of these things available to you, and you always kind of watch out and make sure that you're prepared, because you never know. One of the things is, we know, like right now, Rhino Prime is in like major need. Like, I've seen Rhino Prime sets go for like 300, 400, even 500 plat a piece. And one of the big things about that is because, you know, I was able to sell, I'll be honest, I was able to sell like 2 sets of those when I really needed some plat. So it's always good to have like stock ready, and always do your best to like make sure that you have full sets, because those tend to sell better. I know this is weird, it's like a weird market chat thing, but I feel like it's an important thing to talk about, just because, you know, there's a lot of free-to-play people out, you know, in this game, and it's a really great way to basically kind of like keep your free-to-play, right? It's like, you know, listen, hey, you don't have to pay, you don't have to pay for, you know, real money in order to kind of like get all the good stuff, just as long as you kind of like make sure to do all of these future-proofing kind of steps. Same thing goes for farming Forma, same thing goes for farming resources, all of that kind of stuff. Because as you guys know, even though I do get like day 1 access to weapons, number 1, I gotta buy Prime access myself. But at the same time, there were times where I need to go ahead and pick up like more Forma because I didn't have enough Forma that I wanted for a build, or I needed to pick up more like when ribbon slots came out. I know that I had to buy. I didn't buy all of them. I was gifted by some of you guys. Some of you beautiful, wonderful people, those slots, but I definitely had to pick up some myself when people were donating them to me. So I was like, alright, well, I gotta get these ribbon slots, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to cover all these without actually paying some plat out for them. So I think it's a great way, especially for maybe some people who don't necessarily want to pay the money for it, or don't necessarily have the funds, or just don't really care to spend, you know, spend their hard-earned cash on in-game money, you know? It's a good option. It's definitely something to always keep in mind, and I always think that it's important to be able to do that. And I think that's one of the things that you guys also need to remember about this game, is that just because someone's got plat doesn't mean that they necessarily had to pay for it, right? Doesn't mean they had to pay for it whatsoever. Oh, let's toss down one of these real quick. And as you can see, for the people who give me all the shits about using ciphers and not using Y for ciphers. Yep, I still have not bound those keys. Shit, I'm gonna die. Don't die. Come on, Sentinel, do this for me. Keep me alive. It's the one thing that I ask of you. It's the one time I complimented you today. Ugh. But yeah, so that's basically one of the big reasons that I really kind of wanted to impress the fact onto you that these things are getting vaulted. Always pay attention to the patch notes. Always make sure that you're keeping an eye out for these kind of things, and be aware of the fact that, you know, these things are getting vaulted, so you can stockpile relics, whether, you know, you just want to stockpile the relics just to have the relics, or if you actually want to grind them out in the fissures. I wanted to get it out a little bit earlier to you so that you had a little bit more time to farm, so I'm crossing my fingers that everybody gets their pause on relics and all of that kind of goodness. Again, check the description box below for which relics are applicable to Ash, and I'm also going to link in the description box my video to the best places to farm relics, so you guys can check that out as well. But with that said, good luck on your hunt. Get yourself some Ash Prime parts, bank that shit, and then bank that shit, right? Bank that shit and bank that shit. Plus, I believe in today's update, we're actually going to be getting the filter for for trade chat. So that's actually going to improve. I definitely think that's going to be a big improvement to the way trade chat functions. So it's kind of like one of those things where trade chat's going to get better. You have an opportunity to, you know, grab these blueprints. So grab them while you can. And hopefully the improvements to trade chat will make everything a lot easier and scare some, and not scare some people off, will scare less people off from using trade chat. So that's all I can say for now. You guys take care, and as always, love somebody. Wow, that came out weird, but hurt nobody. And touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.